Yes, Peter, just once. Just try it.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents the Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560 toll free for Dade and Broward, or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM. Neil God.
We had to write a song for him. This is it. Okay.
Interns for sailor rent. You just gotta blow the president. Don't tell old Tipper Gore. I'm a human humidor. I stick old stogies up my.
You can't say that word.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can't say that word.
We were assured that was okay.
By who?
By I think it was you. I think, wasn't it? No.
Use the word. Use the same spelling with a P in the front.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll get the idea.
But snatch?
I don't know what you're trying to do here. I don't even know where I'm at with the beeping. I completely lost my beeping.
I'm sorry about that, man.
Go right ahead, guys. From the top.
Interns for sailor rent. You just gotta blow the president. Don't tell old Tipper Gore. I'm a human humidor. I stick old stogies up my patch. You can ask Mr. Orrin Hatch. I'm a girl, dream by no means. Queen of the load. I know every senator from every state.
That's right.
They never have to masturbate.
I did that for them.
In every hand job, in every town, in every blow, when the wife's not around.
I'll try not to make a mess.
Whoops, whoops, I just gotta drop on my dress. I'm a girl, I mean by no means. Queen of the load, yeah, one for the trip. Queen of the load, one for my dry cleaner. Queen of the load. All right. Yeah, baby.
Thank you very much. That was great, Pete and Wayne, Queen of the Load. Now that is definitely.
That's right up there. That goes out to the kids.
Yep, that's going to be a big, no question about it. Okay, 10:03 at 560 WQM, and that's Bob Wolf, who doesn't show up in Saratoga, New York, who also did give you an idea of the good stuff that he does. He did.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
That bit too. Nice going, Bob. Thank you. WQAM. Hey, listen, we don't have time to diddle around today. We only got 2.5 hours until that big Marlins game. 12:30, the Arizona Diamondbacks against the Marlins, who seek today to extend their losing streak to 6. WQAM.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, let me speak to Neil, please.
Speaking.
Neil.
Yes.
Hey, any stupid bit can sound funny if you put a laugh track behind it. Like, hey, there's a guy in the corner. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
Give me a break with those boring guys with a stupid laugh track.
They were great. It was good stuff. WQAM, hello.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So anyway, getting back to the show, I thought we had a little flurry on there, but we got the, this is Asshole Week here in South Florida, in case you haven't noticed. If you've been driving around, you've already noticed that it's Asshole Week. Believe me, just look to your right, look to your left. There are assholes all over the place. Anyway, hi to my friend Marcy's at Walgreens. This is an amazing story about the power of this show for the doubters and the skeptics out there in Radio Land. So yesterday afternoon, I go to Walgreens to pick up her prescription. And there's a lady there who usually works behind the counter, and she's standing behind me on the customer side. She says, oh, you didn't even recognize me because I'm usually on the other side of the counter, and yada, yada, yada. And she's very nice and a fan of the show, and I said hi, and she's up in the Oakland Park store now. And so all of a sudden I hear, Neil, and I look, and there's my old friend Marcy, who used to work up at the cash register by the front. She says, oh, am I glad to see you? And I thought, what did I do now? And Marcy says, the only reason that I'm back here is because of you. And she tells me, to make a long story short, because I was the one that came on here and mentioned that she was one of the few people in that entire Walgreens on the corner of Nob Hill and Sunrise, by the way. that they had evidently shipped her out some time ago, and I wondered if she disappeared, if she had been kidnapped like Madeleine O'Hare, what happened to her, and all of a sudden they brought her back because Neil said she was the one that knew what she was doing, and she does. That's for you, Marcy. Good to see you. And the assistant manager comes running over. They taking good care of you in the prescription department? I said, yeah, it was good to see Marcy again. He says, oh, yeah, we just brought her back. How do you like that for the power of...
Oh, God!
I'm pretty impressed, I'll tell you that. Tell you what else I'm impressed with, even though I don't like... I hated that idiotic show he did in the afternoon, you know, another one of those Jerry Springer-type shows, the Geraldo show. But when Geraldo does a serious piece, he can do some pretty good stuff. And on MSNBC again last night, and how timely it was with all the crap at Miami International Airport and our friends at un-American Airlines, the war on drugs, another great piece by Geraldo Rivera on what a tremendous waste of time and money it is, and what a gigantic flop. And you know how other countries with a brain, oh, there he goes again, how they treat the drug thing as a public health problem, not a crime problem. And they don't lock up millions of people and put them behind bars because they're smoking a little weed or doing a little blow or whatever they're doing. How do you like that? We've got this multi-billion-dollar industry in America. It's called fighting drugs. Is it working?
No.
No. The war on crime. Like the guy said yesterday, a crime czar, a drug czar, the czar and the czarina. Crazy people. And, of course, you know, it's not so much the drug part that bothers me, although, see, and those people that are taking your 20 and 25 pieces of carry-on when you go on American, the reason you can't find room in the overhead for all your 20 or 30 or 40 pieces of carry-on is because there has to be room for the hand grenades and the automatic guns. Yeah. There has to be room up there for the good stuff. So we can't let you put your 40 or 50 pieces of carry-on in the overhead. So the fact, smuggling drugs, that goes on here all the time. That part doesn't surprise me or bother me that much. But what does bother me a hell of a lot is the unbelievably terrifying lack of security at Miami International Airport. That's the part that really blows our minds, okay? It blows, and it blows our minds. The terrifying lack of security at MIA. Now, I don't know about you, if you fly out of that airport a lot, which I do. But many a time I'll be sitting at the gate and I'll see these guys who are like dressed like civilians, you know, in their regular street clothes, and they'll have the tag with the ID around their neck, and they'll also have their little pass card, and they'll go to the gate, and they'll swipe their little card, and the thing will open, and they'll go off down a jetway somewhere, and who knows where they're going or what they're doing. And evidently this is a standard procedure, or at least it was up until yesterday, that these employees, even on their days when they're not working, they just have access to anywhere and everywhere. They come and they go and they do whatever they want, and they go here and they go there, and nobody pays any attention to them. Because I notice that when I'm watching these people, nobody is paying any attention to who they are or where they're going or what they're doing or what are they doing in there. And yet Friday, when I was going up to Toronto and I go through the checkpoint there, I go through my the X-ray with luggage, and my bag goes through, and the one woman on the other side says, "Oh, is this your bag?" And I said, "Yes, it is." She said, "Do you have an aerosol can in there? Would you open it for me?" I said, "Yes, I do." And I'd open it up, and there's that dangerous can of Right Guard.
Boy!
Woo! Heavy duty, baby. Yeah, they're worried about Right Guard. And I have no problem with that. I'd rather see that they're doing a little bit of something as long as they're not rifling through the whole bag and taking all your crap out. At least they're doing something. But if you're an employee there, or at least up until yesterday, you can come and go and back and forth it goes. A terrifying story. Hand grenades in the overhead. Now we're talking. Making ValueJet look like a bunch of clowns. No wonder they had clowns on the outside of the airplanes. Like a bunch of comedians. Hand grenades and automatic weapons in the overhead. And, of course, American Airlines, they cooperated with a sting, with the federal sting. Yeah, it's only a few. It's only a small handful. 9 minutes after 10 at 560 WQM, we got the Marlins and the Diamondbacks at 12:30, so I'm going to talk real fast. Great.
God, is that thing real?
The open sea. The rolling deck beneath your feet. Sweaty, muscular men packed in cramped sleeping quarters. It's the new Navy, letting you reach deep to where you had never been before.
Isn't this just the best? It's heaven on earth.
The new Navy. Call your recruiter today.
Don't ask, don't tell.
It's more than a job. It's an adventure.
10:13 at 560 WQAM. We got the Diamondbacks at the Marlins. Then right after the game, we got the Jeannie Johnson show. And I'm sure that all the sports nerds are hanging on the edge of their seat. Well, what do you think of? What do you think of? Did he catch the ball? And what about? And of course, the Tony Martin trial. The suspense continues, man. We're still waiting. They're still hung. In fact, they're having medical exams right now to make sure which ones are hung. And there are 8 women on the jury, which is kind of interesting too. Let's see if they're hung. They're still going on and on. No verdict yet. But our people, of course, are over there hovering. You can be sure that the moment something happens, we'll be splurting it all over the radio dial. Dozens of American Airlines employees and Sky Chef caterers were arrested yesterday, charged with smuggling drugs, hand grenades, that's my favorite, hand grenades, and guns. They're worried about my right guard. And guns on the passenger. Maybe we can come up with deodorants in little containers shaped like hand grenades. That sounds good to me.
Blow your pits out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks familiar to me. Take it right along. Sure, no problem. Sorry to bother you. As part of a federal sting, authorities say reveals dangerous and intolerable security breaches at Miami International freaking Airport. How do you like that, huh? 58 airport employees were indicted, most arrested by federal agents at their homes before dawn Wednesday, the culmination of a 2-year undercover investigation that began when a pilot mistakenly sipped a cup of coffee laced with heroin smuggled on board in a coffee filter. It was only the pilot.
What a place for it.
Yeah. I bet you he got you there in a hurry, wherever you be going. Among those indicted are the son of Puerto Rico's police chief, 30 American Airlines ramp employees, an American Eagle security guard, 13 Sky Chef workers, and 3 law enforcement officers, an immigration inspector, an agriculture inspector, and that Broward Sheriff's deputy who worked at the airport part-time. The case, dubbed Operation Ramp Rat and Operation Sky Chef, once again raises troubling questions about chronic security problems at Miami's airport. After repeated instances of employee theft and smuggling over the past decade, little has changed.
Oi!
Among the many conclusions of the problems that exist at MIA, the airport is so wide open that workers merely flash IDs and traipse unfettered, their bags unchecked. Airfield security gates sometimes go unmanned. Just these people wandering around, you know. Well, they happen to work there, not necessarily on that day, but they just decided to show up and see what they could smuggle. I mean, what they could get on the planes. These are individuals who aren't even supposed to be working, says U.S. Attorney Tom Scott. They walked to the planes. They were never challenged. They were never stopped and asked what they were doing there. They even used American Airlines luggage tags to move around the airport. By the end of this investigation, he says, the agents and I believe we could put anything on those planes that we wanted. So that's what they did. On July 22nd, again on August 30, undercover agents hired American ramp employees to smuggle 3 hand grenades and 1 handgun onto passenger airlines. The weapons were secretly taken off the planes by agents, but the deed was done, Scott said. It cost us $7,000, he said. That's the price in Dade County to carry hand grenades or guns onto an airplane. One of the suspects arrested Wednesday is the son of Puerto Rico's highest-ranking law enforcement official, Jose Toledo, etc., and so on, the son of Police Superintendent Pedro Toledo. I thought he was from Puerto Rico, not Toledo. Federal authorities say they have numerous videotapes showing uniformed employees passing unchecked through security points with backpacks filled with cocaine, either handing them off to other cargo workers or placing them on the plane themselves. The undercover agent said they paid corrupt employees $500 per kilo to smuggle the drugs past the passenger security checkpoint and then hand them back to them when they boarded the plane. The cost was $1,700 for the employee to smuggle the drugs onto the plane directly, sources said. There were 4 or 5 crews who we couldn't even get close to because they only smuggle huge amounts, said one law enforcement guy. We didn't have enough money to pay them. The price was too high. As it was, agents paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to the alleged smugglers. Operation Sky Chef, led by U.S. Customs agents, focused on the airline caterers who supply in-flight meals. See, and you thought, what is this stuff that they use instead of a cream? That powdered milk stuff? What do they call that? Cremora or whatever that is?
Yeah, carnation.
Yeah, something like that.
Non-dairy cream.
Yeah, non-dairy Coke. Yeah, that's what that was. Most of these employees were smuggling the drugs in compartments on the carts that held passenger meals, and they showed on the TV things how they had them taped on the bottom and on the compartments and around your TV dinner and your barf straw bag, etc., and so on. Let's hear it for Miami International Airport. Oh! You got a right guard in there, mister? Let's have a look. And what about that can of shaving cream and that little thing on the bottom? They were suspicious in Caracas. We're not too sure about you here either, because this is also a banana boat part of the airport. And like I told you, you'll notice that the operations there, and I don't want to pick on American Airlines much, although I have all weekend, deservedly so, because they really suck. The way things are done in Terminal C and Terminal D, the banana boat part of MIA, those terminals, very strange and very unlike anything you'll see in the rest of the airport. That's been my personal experience. And like I said, I've noticed these people. I just sat there casually wondering, who are these people and where are they going and what are they doing and why are they here and why is nobody paying any attention to why all these people just keep going back and forth. I'm talking going onto ramps where there's not even a plane there. There's no plane sitting there at that gate. And yet here come these people, and they kind of look around, and they, pass, they swipe their thing through there. They swipe it. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you don't know how right you are about that airport. I used to work there behind the scenes with a company, I don't want to mention any names,
okay,
that took care of all the doors and the security over there, and they still do, and everything is just like a big monopoly over there. Everybody's getting their little kickbacks and their little paybacks and kind to everybody else. This company that I'm talking about that took care of all the doors and security over there, they've been doing that for years. They got a couple of guys that walk around there that don't do nothing all day, just looking at doors that don't work.
Sounds like this place, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a joke. Believe me, it's incredible. I mean, I worked there for almost 2 years, and the stuff I saw there. I mean, you don't even want to get into talking about the people that watch the gates and stuff like that. I mean, flights board, international flights, you name it, with just one little lady standing there. It could be a cleaning lady for all they care. Employees walking back and forth, that's just the tip of the iceberg. They got guys walking around there that don't even know nothing. Passes to get into every room, passes to get out on the runways. They got the same pass that takes you out to the runway from inside the building will also take you on the runway if you're in a vehicle that has the right markings.
Great.
What a joke.
Okay, thanks for the good news. I'm glad you got out. Okay, have a good day. 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. No, nobody seems too concerned about this. Like I said, I'm the only guy that flies in this crowd, you know. All the rest of the people are the banana boat crowd. They don't listen to this radio show. Here's Homestead. Hello.
Good morning, sir. How are
you? Yes, sir. Okay.
A couple things on the plate today. I haven't flown in years, but I know when I smuggle right guard, I always use American Airlines.
That's a good idea. Put you right on through.
I used to travel in the 80s.
They have right guard sniffing dogs.
Exactly. In the 80s, I used to travel a whole lot, and we used to just walk on the plane back then. There was no security at all.
Right.
You mentioned Walgreens earlier. I want to give equal time to Walgreens down on 296 and US 1 in Homestead.
Okay.
The people there are absolutely wonderful. Everyone that works there is terrific.
What a pleasure it is to shop at Walgreens instead of Eckerds. I don't want to mention Eckerds on here, but I do hate Eckerds like poison.
Yes, sir.
What a pleasure it is to shop at Walgreens because generally speaking, and just like in this particular case, they had a very incompetent young lady that was working in the prescription department. I made a comment on the air. She vanished. I think they locked her in a room somewhere. You'll never see her again. And if you mention, hey, so, no, seriously, and they bring back the good people, and they really try to do a job for you, as opposed to the other joint, which I don't want to mention Eckerds, where you stand on line at the counter. If you go in there to buy a goddamn pack of chewing gum, it's got to be a half-hour project if there's one or two people in front of you.
Exactly. And there's always one register open and 12 people standing around.
Right.
And they can't open the other register.
And every transaction is like a major, like the U.S. government needs to come in, the IRS and the CIA.
You're exactly right, sir.
Yeah.
Another thing, I have a full head of hair, and you do a piece for Charles Alfieri.
Right.
And it's a wonderful, wonderful commercial ad bit, whatever you call it, that you do. And it makes me want to go buy a hairpiece. But I don't need it.
Okay, well, when it starts falling out, just keep it in mind.
However,
yes?
Yesterday morning I was watching TV.
Put it on your chest like Austin Powers.
I don't need that either.
Like a muskrat.
But thank you. I'll tell you who you need to call, or Charles needs to call Bob Weaver.
Yeah.
Weaver has a muskrat on it.
Does he?
Yes.
Huh.
It is horrible. I don't know where he got it. He must have bought it probably bought it at Eckerds.
Maybe you should call Ron Insana on CNBC because Ron finally flipped off his grotesque-looking hairpiece that he had for years. And now, no, seriously.
He flipped it off?
He took it off, and now his whole head is bald and grotesque. Maybe my friend Ted David will call us one day and give us the inside story of what inspired Ron Insana to go baldy.
Have fun, man.
And have a great day. Maybe he figured he'd start owning some sports teams. It might work for him, you know. If he could just get that bad complexion, too, it might put him over the top. Speaking of that ball game.
I must be crazy. I must be nuts.
Yeah, him, too. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Great letter to the editor, by the way, in the Sun Sentinel this morning. Let Henry build his own ballpark for Marlins by Esther, Warren, and Davey. Great letter, Esther. I'm with you, sweetheart. Bring the ballpark to Broward? I think not. Why do the Marlins need a new stadium when they can't put behinds in the seats now? Asks Esther. Owner John Henry's statement about what baseball means to families and communities is nonsense. Baseball doesn't mean anything to families and communities except for another silly way to spend our tax dollars and the tax dollars of tourists that can be spent on more appropriate things. I guarantee you that no one will suffer if baseball isn't played in South Florida, says Esther. Right on, sweetheart. Your editorial states that things fell apart for the Marlins largely for lack of a suitable stadium. This statement is just irresponsible rhetoric on your part. The Marlins fell apart when Winnie Haipinga bought his championship season and then raped the team of its value and the fans of their spirit. Yes, Broward leaders need to run, but not to the negotiating table. The county needs to run away from John Henry and his very expensive grand vision.
I must be crazy. I must be nuts.
You also said that John Henry's made a dramatic financial concession by stating he only wants to break even. Well, if Mr. Henry wants to make a really dramatic financial concession, let him dig into his own deep pockets, not ours. Nice going, Esther.
Oh!
Great letter. One of the great letters to the editor ever printed in any of our goddamn mediocre local newspapers. Nice going, sweetheart. And most of us echo you. We say we second that emotion. 567-0560, pound 560 on our Mobile One line. 567-0560, pound 560. Like I said, this is a wacko week, man. Faggot Maricon week here at QAM. Just crazy people all week long. I think that most of the people, and like yesterday, I'm talking about living in other countries, and even a young guy that called in who sounded like younger than the age of 100, crazy person. Screw you, Neil, screw you, and what do you know, and it's filthy and all those drugs. People that have no idea what they're talking about. I would have thought that after that call, we would have had a whole bunch of people who have either lived abroad or are from other countries or know people who've moved abroad and had, like maybe a semi-intelligent discussion about that. Did we have it?
No.
No, we had that chronic Israeli guy giving us a song and a dance about how he hated Spain. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. It's going to be, thank God we only got 2 hours to go. Got that ball game at 12:30. Short show today, and thank the Lord for that.
The sky is falling.
Gore is the boringest person that you'll ever view.
Yes.
We can't take him anymore. No one's more boring than Vice President Al Gore. No signs of facial expression. Is he alive?
No.
If you're stuck with him, then 1 hour seems like 5. Whose Gore is the boringest person that you'll ever view. Gore is the boringest person, goes for tip or two. Only one's more wooden than him, Pinocchio. But he'll come to life for Asian guys with lots of dough.
Long mis aspiradas.
Gore is the boringest, he's out. Gore is the soaring fast, he's out. Gore is the boringest person that you'll ever view.
10:31 at 560 WQM. We better hurry because we got to get all these calls in before 12:30 that Marlin Arizona game. 567. The amazing part of this. Now it's not amazing because by now I've finally come to accept it. There's just nothing you can do about it. This is just a place of deadheads. This was the lead story on all the national newscast last night. CBS spent 8 minutes on this story about the sting. The federal sting, the 2-year operation at Miami International, and about all the stuff that's going on. And the people who live here, you know what they're saying about all of these things? As usual, nothing phases anybody here. They have nothing to say about any of this stuff. Just like the thing with the school teacher, it makes no difference what it is. So as we take the thermometer and stick it deep inside of this radio station, all I can tell you is that the show on this end is doing sensational sizzling, and the check cleared very nicely yesterday, thank you. And on your end, it really blows. every retard, every misfit, every wannabe sit-down comedian, maricon, bada beep, bada ba, faggot, you know something, of no consequence to anybody or anyone. And thank you so much for listening, by the way, to the Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQM, as you do every day. Just a waste of your life, just a waste of your energy, a waste of human time. And by the way, how about that 10,000-year-old guy they found up there in northern Canada with that very nicely made hat and his walking stick? Or that spear, they call it. I guess he was a spear chucker.
He had one of each.
One of each. Walking stick and a spear chucker. 10,000 years old. And, of course, the religionists now are going, no, it's more that carbon dating propaganda. It's more that scientific atheist commie pinko crap. It's a conspiracy. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
This thing about the American Airlines thing has me sick, and this problem we've had with the airport, that the security is terrible. It's been going on since Pan Am 103. I think the federal government should start fining these airlines thousands of dollars every time someone walks through those doors without getting checked. And you're going to see how that thing gets fixed.
Yeah.
This is
and remember, you see, for the passengers, for those of us who pay through the nose to fly on all of these flights, we have to have, your picture ID, and you have to go through the checkpoint, and every now and then they pick at random. You got to open up your bag, and they rifle through it, and is that right guard or what's in there? So if you're a passenger and you're paying through the nose, you got to go through a big song and a dance. But as far as what they're doing to really secure you against these irresponsible people who are doing God only knows what in there, forget about it.
I mean, they make a big deal about not putting your luggage under the seat in front of you.
Yeah.
And here there is people, walking with
well, there's no room with those hand grenades up there. Who the hell's got room for luggage? That's right.
Well, just wanted to put my 2 cents into this, and I hope American Airlines gets fined millions of dollars for this.
Sounds good to me. Excellent and well deserved. Thank you.
All right.
Well deserved. See, and of course now we understand why they're so late on all these flights. It takes a long time to pack all those hand grenades and all the drugs and get all the stuff in the food carts, get it in the right spot, make sure it's secure. 567-0560 pound 560 on a mobile one line. It's a hopeless cause this time, man. It's lost. It's just lost. Just once between now and 12:30, I'd like to hear from somebody who's ever lived in another country or aspires to live there or knows somebody who lives, like in Western Europe somewhere, in a real country, as opposed to the imbeciles I heard from yesterday, as if what they think really is going to change my life or change my... How dare you? Why don't you just get out of here now? Get out of here! No, I'll get out of here when I'm good and ready, okay? That's when I'll do whatever I want and go wherever I want, okay, punk? That was great. That was one of the all-time... He was getting so exercised and so psychotic that I don't want to live here the rest of my life, and this isn't the greatest country in the world like he thinks it is. If he loves it, great, more power to him. But this is human nature, especially in a very uneducated country. If you don't happen to agree with me, though, screw you, Neil, screw you. I'll pass. Check with Ricky Martin. He might be more amenable. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I lived in Spain for about, Madrid, Spain for about 2 years when I was in the service.
Hated Madrid, yeah.
And everybody absolutely loved it.
Really?
I myself thought it was fantastic. The people were great.
Uh-huh.
As a matter of fact, we'd be out partying at night, and there would be a guy just slumped on the sidewalk sleeping, just passed out from drinking. And everybody would just walk by him. Nobody would even bother him.
That sounds like downtown Miami to me.
But there's no crime. There's you go in, they got those guards, like you said, with the Uzis
Right.
and the square and the major squares.
Right.
But there's no crime. It's very peaceful.
So even Madrid was okay.
I thought it was awesome.
Great. Well, God bless you, pal. Thanks very
All
much. Thank you. See, we got one. Immediately, if not sooner. Oh, no, you're wrong, Neil. Screw you. Get out of here. Screw you. I think that kid was getting ready to blow his brains out. He was so agitated and psychotic because he just couldn't bring me over to his point of view. If you don't like it, get out. Will the last American please bring the fag? I mean, just take a chill already, will you? Just relax, calm down. It's not the end of the world, okay? And maybe this vacation I just won't come back. How's that sound? Sounds good to me.
Oh!
Yeah. Do the show on the ISDN. They'll never know the difference. Here's Davey. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was at Universal Saturday with Keen Ellis. Didn't pay him no mind. I'm sure he didn't know about me being there either.
And?
And
this
you've never seen a bigger bunch.
Sounds like the asshole with the eyes, yeah, who's got nothing to say, who called yesterday with the same story. Nobody cares, okay? Nobody cares that. In fact, they would have cared if they knew you were up there. They would have kicked your ass out. Retard. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil. I had a couple of things. Actually, the first thing is anybody that says Europe is dirty has got to be, they're a moron, because I've been there, and it's not dirty. To me, it's like it's aged. It's vintage. I went to Venice, and it was such a beautiful, beautiful city. It's like I felt like I was walking through Disney World for the majority of the
They
day.
don't understand the difference between dirty and old. Of course, the cities are old, most of them, because they're thousands of years old, a couple thousand years. So naturally, things are going to be old, and they give the impression of being dirty because they're not glitzy and brand new and modern and neon signed all up like over here.
It was definitely the most beautiful thing I've seen, and I would definitely go back in a heartbeat to Venice any day. And the second part is about the Eckerds thing. I mean, I had an experience down in North Miami Beach where I had oral surgery. I had to go get a prescription filled of Tylenol 3, not exactly the hardest thing to fill. And this lady looked at me like she was bewildered, like never been to prescription school.
Like, what's that? Yeah.
Yeah, and said it would be an hour and a half to fill my prescription.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got a surgery. They wouldn't let you call it in. I don't know if Walgreens or anybody else lets you call in your prescriptions. But I had to wait an hour and a half, went down to Walgreens, left, and filled in 5 minutes. I mean, Eckerds, they're morons.
There you go. I rest my case.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you, sir. There you go. We love Walgreens. We can't stand Eckerds. That's just the way it is. Nothing personal, and Jack Eckerd doesn't know it anymore. We couldn't stand him either, but he's out of the picture, and we still hate them. It's kind of like Schlockbuster, which, by the way, the good news is Sound, what is it called? Sound Warehouse? Is that the name of it? The
Sound
California
Advice?
place? No, not Sound Advice. I think I'm getting it wrong. Sound Warehouse has bought out the Blockbuster music stores, at least the one out there by the Sawgrass. Yeah. And maybe all the, not the Blockbuster video stores, but the music stores, which is great news for all of us, okay? Not that we have anything against Blockbuster, but Baldy once had something to do with it, so we're not too happy. And we're not really sure he's out anyway. Because one thing about him, whenever he gets into something, just like that Marlin thing that everybody's suspicious that he and John Henry are still like joined at the hip, whenever he's into something, he never gets completely out.
I must be crazy. I must be nuts.
Yeah, you're not fooling anybody. 20 before 11 at 560 WQAM.
Daddy, when are you going to give George his bonus?
In theaters now, from the director of Star Trek and the producer of The Spy Who Shagged Me. It's The Spy Who Shagged Spock.
Do I make you horny?
Sir, would you mind explaining that statement, please?
Do I make you horny, baby? Yeah, do I?
Fascinating, but quite impossible.
Oh, groovy, baby.
And as for my anatomy being different from yours, I am delighted.
Well, they're astronomical, believe me.
Very long, and judging from what we've seen so far, I agree.
Oh, behave.
The Spy Who Shagged Spock.
Shall we shag now, or shall we shag later?
I wonder what Starfleet Command will say about that.
Live long and prosperous.
Yeah, baby.
1044 at 560 WQM. Don't forget Marlins and the Diamondbacks, 1230, so get your finger in the turning the knob off position. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How are you, Neil?
Okay.
Good. Yesterday I happened to be listening to your show and speaking about law enforcement and governmental agencies, and you used the word hypocrisy, which I totally agree. And one thing that really gets me particularly perturbed and sick with respect to this country's government is how all these elected officials, whether they're congressmen with their special committees investigating the president or it's the local DA down in Miami, these people aren't interested in serving the country. 99% of these people are interested in serving their own resumes, going after what is an easy
building their own little empires like Ken Jett and Broward. Mm-hmm.
Right. Not going after what's really important in this country. Like, let's start with the people bringing the drugs into this country or the people killing people on a daily basis in Miami. And, they're going after, Tony Martin, for example, it's a prime case. For them to be wasting their time on this football player, he helped
forget about whether he's a football player or not.
Right.
It's and the idea that there's all this attention being paid to it. If he weren't a football player in this particular case, probably nobody would even pay any attention, and maybe there would have been no charges in the first place.
Right. And, you go to Europe, and I've been there a few times, but it strikes me as, there are far more less, and I'm talking about, the major countries there, France, England, Italy, and Spain. There are far less more serious crimes there. granted, there's a lot of petty stuff that goes on there. Drugs, I guess, where a lot of it's legal over there, and maybe prostitution, and they have a lot of that.
Well,
but you know what?
prostitution is not illegal in Western Europe.
That's right. But, you walk into Europe, and you don't have people like every day there's somebody getting shot in Detroit, in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital.
Yeah, but you got to understand, the American people, and I've been telling you this for years, they are brainwashed into believing that this is like normal life. This is the way things are supposed to be. You have to just accept it, and it doesn't go on in these other places. It's a rarity. It almost never happens.
Yes.
And have a great day. But, hey, oh, no, we're the best, baby. Yeah, we're blowing them away like crazy. And we got kids blowing each other away in school. But, this is what this kid that called yesterday, his idea of a great country. A lot of very glitzy, modern strip shopping centers, a lot of very big, fancy shopping malls, and a lot of guns, a lot of violence, a lot of hatred. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Like I said, lead story on every major newscast, hours and hours spent on it in the last 24 hours. Nobody cares about what's going on at Miami International, probably because all our people fly out of Fort Lauderdale, I guess. Must be. Nobody seems to give a crap. Here's a Mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
You listen, I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, and I tell you, your attitude is just fantastic. You'd be surprised in the street how many people really think like you do.
Yeah.
I can tell.
So where are they?
They're there. They're listening to you because if you look at really, what's out there in radio in South Florida? There isn't much. I go to the internet now after your show. I'm on the internet, for a couple hours. I can't even look at television anymore. It's so boring.
Yeah.
Just nobody has any opinions out there. It's crazy.
It's all tapioca pudding. That's why I was so glad MSNBC ran that Geraldo piece last night on this stupid war on drugs and what a failure it is, and all the millions of people that are behind bars, mostly minorities, by the way. It's a disgrace, and nobody gives a crap.
It's like this Tony Martin thing. Okay, I co-signed a loan for a friend of mine who had bad credit. He blew it out. He was a developer.
Yeah.
The guy said, "Listen, I can't get a car. I got the cash, but I don't have credit." He paid me the 2 years up front for the lease I signed for him.
Yeah.
I didn't ask him where the money came from. Really, the guy paid me. I know the guy forever. Regardless of, this guy might be a dope dealer and he's a dope dealer. Who really knows the truth anymore?
Right, exactly.
They feed you all this over. And then when you see somebody acquitted, you say, so how did he get off? Because you're only listening to the side of the story from the newscast.
And this is interesting, too, because this is in a city back in 1980 where the mayor, who was then Maurice Ferre, that jackass, he said, well, we don't have to worry about this recession that's the rest of the country's in now. Back in 81, I guess it was, after the Reagan recession started. We don't have to worry about this because whether it's good or not, we got all this drug money coming into this market. Money will never dry up here.
That's what built the city anyway. Before that, it was Al Capone's money and all those wise guys that came down here.
Yeah.
They just and then the Cuban exodus. That's what built it. Last night I was on there's a web page. It's on swappage.com. It's got a chat room with your name on there, and they got all these Howard Stern people. I can't even look at his show anymore. He's disgusting. The guy has no opinion about anything. All it is
looking at chat rooms on the internet is like like a death wish. Forget it.
Yeah,
you find every miscreant, every misfit in the world is on chat rooms on the internet.
These chat rooms are pretty good, because they have designed topics, and it's when people have an opinion and things to say. Your name comes up constantly over there.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that a lot of people, in the big cities up north don't really know who you are. I wish you could. You should do the ISDN.
It's too bad the people down here don't know who I am. Have a great day, pal. Okay. 567-0560. Got 8 million open lines here this morning. 2 calls on the board. And this is just amazing, you people. It's astonishing. Nothing moves the people in this town. Nothing. You could take a goddamn cannon and shoot it off out there. And of course, we got to remember, they're all going out there to buy their plywood and their bottled water and batteries. Even though little Brian Norcross says, well, he's trying to bring them all back over here, all 3 storms, but it doesn't look too promising for that to happen. 567-0560, pound. Maybe we could put an old Marlin game on right now, and I can get out of here a little bit early, okay? Get an early start on my vacation. Sounds good to me. I hate to be wasting these people's time. The rest of the country thinks it was pretty goddamn shocking and astonishing what's going on over here at our major airport. No security, people putting hand grenades, people getting paid off to put all kind of heroin, cocaine, you name it, on the plane. Nobody cares. Hey, we don't care. And you know something? That's why you've got all these crooked politicians. That's why you've got the horseball services that you got here, because nobody cares. Don't blame anybody else. Don't blame the Cubans. Don't blame the Jews. Don't blame the Goyim. Don't blame it. Just look in the mirror and blame yourself. Nobody cares. That's why you got kids going to school in portable classrooms, because nobody gives a flying crap. Man, are you people tragic. And you wonder why I want to get the hell out of this joint? I'll take the money, thank you. And for a while there on this show, for a few weeks, we were actually, I know it comes as a shock, having a pretty good time there for a couple of months, yeah. A little bit of response. I mean, compared to other summers in the last few years, it was getting coming along. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, whatever you want to say, faggot, that's it. That's the response, no matter what it is. As if that's a bulletin, okay? Faggot, yeah, that's me. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm calling about the American Airlines thing. If you look at the list of the names, 90% of these people are Hispanic.
That is correct. I have the list right in front of me. Yeah?
And I would say this, they couldn't get into Canada. They couldn't get into any other country, only here, because the Republican
Several
Party...
Rodriguez is on here. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't care. It's your Republican Party's down there signing them up as soon as they hit the beach for votes and taxes, and that's all these guys care about.
Yeah.
And, they're not representing the rest of us. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we got Alvarez on top and Zambrana on the bottom and Velez and Rodriguez, Gonzalez and Izquierdo and Marate and Martinez and Montalvo and Munoz and Pinga. Oh, I'm sorry, Quezada. Isabel de Casada. Oh, she's not on there. I just like that name. Isabel de Casada. Oh, I love the way she used to say that. I used to get chills when she was... Isabel de Casada. Ooh. Here's a mobile and Kendall. Hello.
Yes, good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I agree about the American Airlines situation at MIA. Pretty scary to see those people walking around and the lack of security.
Yeah.
However, last night on the news, when the DEA agent got on television to talk about it,
right.
What was really scary was that they said that it was a 2-year undercover sting operation,
right,
and that the only reason it came down now was because they ran
out of money. Right.
They ran out of money.
Uh-huh.
What about this ongoing criminal activity? So, in other words, are we led to believe that no arrest would have happened if the government money would have kept going in?
Yeah, that crossed my mind too. What the hell were they waiting for? I mean, how much evidence did they have to have against some of these people? It would seem to me that I guess they figured that as soon as they made the first busts, that would, the activity would cease and they'd find some other way of doing it outside the airport. But I mean, how long did they let this go on before they start nabbing some of these people?
Right, exactly. Or do they just want to continue like a cushy assignment, just walking? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, that's what the DEA is all about anyway. I mean, that's
right.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy and a continuing organization. I mean, if the drug problem ever were solved, as if we're going to do it, which we won't, but if it were, they'd all be out of business.
Right, exactly. So that's all I got. I just made that observation.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's it's a very sad thing, this whole DEA, and that's what Geraldo pointed out last night. Other countries deal with drugs as a health care situation. This country deals with it from a criminal justice standpoint. Put everybody in jail. That's how we're going to solve it. Is putting people in jail going to make them want to stop doing drugs?
No.
Does it make, it's like prohibition of anything else. And that's why, like I said, Canada, Netherlands, civilized countries, Australia, they know how to deal with drugs and with people who do drugs. Not here. Oh, no, you're full of crap, Neil. You're full of crap. Screw you. Okay. Hope you have a good time. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. All right.
Bones. No more will he rise.
No.
There's no more doctor on the Enterprise. Bones won't cure anymore. Thought Scotty would go first for sure. We love Bones. He was only a country doc. We love Bones. They can't save him like they did Spock.
No.
McCoy's gone underground where no man has gone before. And Bones
We're gonna miss him, especially when he said, "Damn it, Jim, dead bones. We're gonna miss you both."
11 o'clock here in the land of the dead and the home of the grave. How's that go? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. George has got a great bank story. I'm sure that he'll be telling you in the next few days. You going to tell a story or not?
I might. Depends on how those letters go out.
Yeah.
And if they get those
Depends on how they straighten out their mistake. Oh, my God, don't tell me another bank with another mistake. That embarrassed the hell out of you and put you in the crapper.
Maybe you look like a deadbeat.
Yeah, how unusual. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You hit it on the head, man, with the Miami International. I'm calling about that. And what the gentleman said on the air not too long ago on the phone, that the 95% of the people who got busted were Latins. That's a message. That's definitely a message to go out there, man. I don't understand why we can't tighten up the immigration policy in this country. What's going on?
What's going on? It's called chaos is the word you're looking for, I think. We don't have an immigration policy.
Exactly.
And this guy that called me yesterday gave me a song and a dance about, there's all these people lined up knocking on the door trying to get into this country. Yeah, they're all trying to get here on banana boats. Those are the kind of people trying to get in here. Our schleppers, people coming from rampant poverty. They're not coming here from political reasons. They're coming here because they're starving to death.
Well, doesn't the government know this?
Of course the government knows this, but the government is inept. The government's too busy putting people growing marijuana plants in their backyard in jail. We don't have the resources to take care of this.
I mean, don't they take a consensus as to how our cities, especially the cities in southern Florida, are being strangled?
They've written off South Florida a long time ago. Back during the Reagan years, they told me that right on the air. People from the State Department, they've written this off. This is just a landing place for illegal aliens, and they've written it off a long time ago.
What do you mean written it off?
Just what I said. Those are their words. Those are people from the Reagan State Department back in the early 80s.
How can they write off a portion of the United States?
Real easy, pal. Read my lips. Just look around you and see what's happened, and then ask yourself, is it possible it could be any other thing?
I'm going to Palermo.
Okay, see you there. Arrivederci. We're going to Sicily, baby. That's an offer they can't refuse. Straighten their ass out. We're going to go see the Black Hand. Or we'll just go to Overtown and see it. 567-056. Or I'll just bring in Roy and see it. And the hand, too. 567. Hey, Roy, give us a hand here. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT. Well, he's got one hand is occupied with that black instrument. Where did that thing go, by the way? Oh, thank God. I get nervous when that vanishes because I'm afraid he's diddling with it again. His diddlo. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
I don't know if you caught last night HBO, which had the Lenny Bruce story.
No, I did not.
Broke it down real nice. It was a 90-minute piece.
Yeah.
And
I can relate to it.
He seems to have a great influence, I think, in your life because you have so much in common with him. And here's a true role model.
He doesn't have any influence in my life.
You didn't have any influence in your? No. No, because like you say about saying the N-word and desensitizing it.
Just a lot of similarities. I mean, it's only by coincidence, but he was, of course, way ahead of his time.
Absolutely, 35 years ahead of his time.
Exactly.
And it shows you what the government what they will do to carry out their agenda, what they're interested in, along with the Catholic Church, the Pope, and what just a great story. And I know it's going back, but it really tells you what the government's agenda is into the bedrooms and it's still pervasive today. And the violence, which separates us, I guess, from Europe, I mean, we have, I guess, a lot of the same petty crimes, but ours is a violent society, and that just seems to go by the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a sad commentary on taking a guy's speech and so on, and what's similar.
We've got the word police,
right?
But, they can be putting all kinds of automatic weapons out there, and one good thing, one little piece of good thing. I don't know if you saw the CBS News last night, but now that they did that expose 2 nights ago about all these police departments all over the country selling their worn out weapons to gun dealers and trading their weapons. Now they're taking a look at that, and some of the police departments are going to change their policy, and what they're going to do is they're just going to destroy them and get rid of them instead of putting more weapons back into circulation.
Well, they had interviewed the assistant district attorney in New York, and of course New York was the end for him, and the guy's present day. Well, see, we really didn't want to get anybody in trouble, if we could have avoided it. I mean, it's so condescending, and it's just. It's not going to change. It could be George Bush and George anybody. It's just not going to happen, no matter who's in.
No, because it's a police state. I mean, the institutions are already in place, and no one individual is going to change that. The Kennedys found that out.
Right, and just everybody go along and collect that paycheck up in the government there week after week, and they're not out to fix anything realistically. And it really, the whole system needs to be stripped down. From bottom to top, top to bottom, both ways, but it's a bad system. I'm sorry, and you people are right, and that say this country is so far behind the times. We should be embarrassed. The education, just the priorities, it sucks.
Just the education. Forget about health care. Forget about all the other things that are wrong here. Just take a look at the education system. It lags so far behind the rest of the so-called westernized or civilized world that it's an embarrassment.
Ben Cohen was on the Washington Press Club from Ben and Jerry's, your favorite, and to demonstrate with Oreo cookies the defense spending budget, $280 billion, and going out and getting F-22s when our F-15s are still the most, and education is $10 billion, and health care for kids, the 11 million kids without it is $10 billion. The priorities, and no one's doing anything. Show us, like he says, George Bush.
We'll find some money to build a stadium, though.
Yeah, right.
For $1 billion.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sports, let's win. Rah, rah, hey.
Okay, pal.
Have a good one.
Get your pom-poms out. Yeah, now we're number one. We be number one. We can't be saying it, but we be it. If you can't say it, be it. Do we be it? Huh? We be doing it. 56705. Just like I said, this is one of, if I were a black person in America, I would be so pissed off. I'd be so angry. I mean, there are a million things that I could be angry about, but the angriest thing I would be about is the fact that the education system purposely, this is an institutional racism. They aid and abet, they perpetuate a system where most young black males are illiterate. They're functionally illiterate. They can't speak proper English. And, of course, like Geraldo pointed out last night, the racism as far as the drug arrests are concerned, it's unbelievable, the number of young black men who are behind bars for petty drug crimes. You saw the piece the first time, didn't you? But the two mothers, the one woman who was desperate because her kids were starving to death, and so she took for a very minor amount of cocaine and transported it, and they nailed her ass. 20 years under the Rockefeller law up there in New York, under a crazy law from a crazy governor from 1973. 20 years minimum, she's got no chance to get out. And the judge who did the sentencing, who had no choice because of the mandatory law, she's the one that's championing the cause, trying to get these women out. That's America for you, baby. Let me say it again, read my lips. Civilized countries deal with drugs as a health care situation, not a criminal problem. Yeah, if there are people that are trafficking in large amounts of heroin and coke and stuff like that, yeah, then it becomes a criminal problem. But as far as the average small user is concerned, not dealt with as a criminal problem. But in America, we like to make criminals out of as many people as we can. Everything you do is a crime. You go to a swing club, it's a crime. Every goddamn thing you do. If you get an erection, if you get a Woody and Broward, it's a crime. Yeah, the turgidity police will come along and give you a little squeeze. See just how hard it is. Oh, you're going to jail, baby. And the public sits out there and accepts this like this is a civilized place. And this kid calls yesterday and he's giving me a lecture. This punk who doesn't know his ass from my elbow, and he's giving me a lecture about the world. Man, you got better get your brain out of your rectum, pal, because you got the brains. So maybe, like I said, it's in the right place. 9 minutes after 11 at 560 WQAM. Nick Cigar.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Oh, yeah. Come on. He wakes up in the morning. He's still on inside. He couldn't tell the work of art from a hole in his crack. The stuff that's wild and woolly, they count on 50 to view it. Cause Dungeon is a dirty job and he's the man to do it. Judging you is a dirty job. Judging you is just God's job. He'll put you through the ringer and hang you out to die. He'll kick you out of business, cause he's a right-wing guy. He'll break your heart to pieces, but first you got to go through it. Oh! Judging you's a dirty job and it gets him off to do it. Yeah. Judging you is a dirty job. Judging you is a dirty job. Judging you is a dirty job.
It's 11:14 at 560 WQM, 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T line. Only an hour and a quarter away from Marlins baseball. Oh! That's what I have to say about that. Marlins and the Diamondbacks, Razorbacks, whatever the hell their name is. And then, of course, we got the Jimmy Johnson show, where it could be special. We got the Jimmy Johnson show right after the game. Every time I hear that, or they also have a TV version of it now, too, I don't know whether to pee in my pants or just fall on the floor laughing. God, because it's so important, you know, the way he says it. And, of course, you know, that's his job, is to take something really very marginal and silly and try to make everybody think it's really important. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. How you doing?
Great.
I just wanted to add my 2 cents on the Miami international security problem.
Uh-huh.
First, let me say that I'm a University of Miami student, and before my parents moved down to Florida, I was flying back and forth quite a bit. Now, I have a backpack, just as most students do, and I have a little piece of duct tape wrapped around one of the straps, which, you know, I'm preventing
drugs.
Right. That's right.
Hiding drugs.
Every single time I go through the metal detector, you know, they send it through the X-ray machine.
Yeah.
They don't have a problem with it, but they got to take it over to this little machine. I almost miss my plane every time because of this. They have to do this little test on the duct tape, see if I have any plastic explosives on me,
There you go.
and you know, they should really
I hope
be.
you don't have a can of Right Guard in there, too. You really got problems, man.
No, I use speed stick,
Good.
so that's
Good
not,
thinking.
you know. So you know, they really should be spending their time on more important things and, you know, getting their dogs working a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. But thanks for your time.
Okay.
Bye.
There you go. Duct tape, they're very big on that. But, you know, hand grenades, automatic weapons, well, there's, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. Makes you kind of feel unclean, you know, especially all the flying I've done in and out of that airport. To think of all these scumbags that are in there doing all of this crap. And like I said, I don't really care about the drug part. It doesn't bother me because the drug thing is out of control in this country. The whole thing is a joke. Doesn't bother me in the least. The hand grenades and the automatic weapons and the overhead, that I'm not too crazy about. But the idea of the no security, that makes me a little bit nervous, that part, you know? No security, basically, is what we're talking about. It has to make you really wonder. But nobody else seems too concerned about it, so let's hear it. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
First time, a long time.
Wonder how much security they could pay to put in there with that $29 million they flushed down the toilet with that expansion project they started, and then they couldn't complete it, so they just said, well, screw it, we're just going to lose the money. But anyway.
My wife and I just got back from a wonderful trip, Paris and Amsterdam and Netherlands, well, all of Netherlands, really.
Yeah, but how did you survive? I mean, that kid yesterday told me it's so filthy and dangerous over there.
Well, you know, he goes to the red light district only after 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Got to tell you that probably in a couple of years, hopefully when I finish my engineering degree, we're going to go right there. Netherlands is the most beautiful place I've ever seen. I cannot believe.
Most civilized country in the world.
Yeah, you know, and
best education system, best health care.
Yeah, I have I've met cousins of mine and uncle and aunt for the first time, and man, they filled me in on all the goodies. I mean, you know, people who aren't members of the tourist board.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, you know, one of the comments was like how poverty is virtually impossible. You'd have to try, you know.
You have to work at it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the social system, the whole approach seems it's advanced, and I think...
and I'm, you know, all the time I've been over there about 50 times, and I never heard anybody, because, you know, just about everybody speaks English, I never heard anybody complaining about the fact that they can't walk around with guns. You know? No NRA over there.
Yeah, saw very few police, and we were in Amsterdam for 2 nights, out late, of course, enjoying everything,
right.
And everything. And never, ever once felt threatened or unsafe.
No.
And you had all of these, you know, what you would otherwise refer to like a drag of society or whatever, running around along with everybody else.
Same in Rome, same in Florence, same in Milan, same in Berlin, same in Cologne, same in Stockholm, same in Copenhagen, same in Paris, same in every city I've ever been in Western Europe. You don't feel like you have to look over your shoulder, like you're going to get mugged, like you're going to get murdered, like anybody's going to get shot, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. Even though my relatives are very paranoid. I guess that's that World War II thing. You know, they were there during that.
Yeah.
Of course. You know,
well, get the earplugs. They won't have to hear people speaking German. They'll feel better.
Yeah.
Sorry, even hearing Dutch, I guess. The first time I heard him speaking Dutch, I got a little bit nervous.
I have a question, though, for you. Have you ever been to Delft, Holland?
No.
Wow. You know, next trip, make it a point, if you can, because it's close to Amsterdam. It's of course the world famous Delft Blue comes from there.
Right.
And man, I got to tell you, even if you like Amsterdam, it's I don't know, it's got all the good things.
See, and that's one thing about Europe too, is that because it's so compact, you can get on that. They got that great train system. You can hop on a train and be anywhere in no time. You go to Cologne from Amsterdam in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we took the Thalys actually.
Yeah.
From Paris and round trip, because that's where our flights were in and out of. But just really an eye opener, And I love Fort Lauderdale. I'm not, that's where I live, and I'm not going to knock South Florida too much. Not too thrilled about raising a family here if both of us are working, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're paying attention, I think you can do okay just about anywhere in the world. But boy, I got, from what I've seen there, and especially, with what they've done with the water and the whole Delta Works project, and that's kind of my specialty of study. I guess I have another reason also to go. But yeah, the society, just the people were very nice, friendly. The way they raise their children, the children aren't exposed to TV. They're not violent, young. These kids, they start teaching them English at 10 years old. Just a whole different approach.
Okay, pal. See you there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
See you there in 3 years, pal. 56705. Oh, gee, Neil, get out! You can't say that. Get out of here, you scumbag. Okay. In time. Remember what Linda Blair said? In time. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Orlando. Hello. Or Opalaco. Somewhere up there. Opalaco.
Hello. Hi, Neil. How are you?
I saw the
I listen to your show all the time. I enjoy it. But Neil, I was thinking, a thought comes to me.
Yes, sir.
If these people are putting all these drugs on planes and weapons, what do you think about the people? Has anybody ever given that a thought? If these people is easily getting drugs and weapons on planes, do you think about the nature of people getting on these planes?
Sure, that's another good point.
That's true, Neil.
How do you know how many passports are getting passed and smuggled back and forth and phoning ID and God only knows what?
I'm not the smartest person in the world, but yet still, I see a lot of things that people never mention. People getting these things on planes. So what do you think about security people that are putting weapons and things on?
Yeah, especially some of the people I see getting on the plane, especially on American Airlines.
That's for sure. Okay, Neil, I just want to pass my little view, and I enjoy your show. I listen to you all the time. I'm a truck driver, and I run out cross country, but whenever I can, I pick you up, and I give you a call whenever I can.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Neil.
All right.
Bye.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. What are we going to do at Miami International? Like I said, that $29 million, I think, could have beefed up security a lot, at least for a few days. All that baloney they gave us after, the major crashes and every time. What they do is they clamp down on the decent people, and you got to have 85 pieces of ID, and you got to have 72 checkpoints, and you got to do this and got to do that, and yada, yada. But in the meantime, the scumbags, they can get through no problem at all. Here's Deerfield. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Great.
My name's Greg, and I have a problem with the Broward County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
They have a certain policy of the sheriffs being able to bring their police cars home with them at night. And I called one of the commissioners. You there?
Well, what's the problem with that?
Well, the thing is they're for 8 or 9 hours a night they're sitting there watching Maude and the Golden Girls while people are out roaming the streets. And I called one of the commissioners.
I don't understand. They're not on duty 24 hours a day.
But why should they have the cars at their home for their leisure? I called the commissioner, and he told me that he finds that it's a good crime deterrent.
Yeah.
It would seem to me.
And you know what? I agree with him.
But no. See, it would seem to me it would be a better deterrent to have policemen in the police cars.
Sir, I'm not the biggest supporter of a lot of the police, the bad police anyway. Nobody supports bad police. But I'll say this much to you. When it comes to deterrent, I know this for a fact, and you know it too, because when you're driving, I'm coming to work this morning on the turnpike, and an FHP guy's got some woman pulled over. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm not justifying this or agreeing with it, but the traffic slowed down at least 15 miles an hour, even though there's no other cops around, but just the sight of that police car forced everybody to slow down to a crawl.
Okay,
so if you don't think that it's a deterrent just to see a police vehicle, because nobody knows for sure whether there's somebody inside, I think in this case I happen to agree with them.
Okay, now, but listen to this. In my particular subdivision, it's a very small one. It's called Waterford Homes.
Yeah.
There are at least 6 policemen that live here.
Yeah.
And the guys that mow their lawns mow around the cop cars. These cars haven't moved in days. And I know that for a fact.
What do you mean they mow around them? Are they sitting on the grass? They're sitting on the lawn?
Yes, and these cars are just sitting there.
Yeah.
There's nobody driving them.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm glad that you have such a rich, full life that these are the kinds of things that you have to worry about. I wish I had this guy's problems, and I think most of the audience probably shares my feeling. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a lady in the Gables. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
Okay.
Listen, I want to share with you a delightful experience I had with American Airlines last year.
Mm-hmm.
I was running to catch a plane, and I was stupid enough to be carrying Louis Vuitton luggage. So I drop it on the thing. These two ladies pull me over and start going through my bags. Then they take my bags away. They come back, and I'm late. They come back, and they make me sign. They say, sign this paper that everything's in your bags. I look in my bags. I see my wallet. I see my cell phone. I see my checkbook, and I say, I sign it. I run.
Yeah.
I get on the plane, no jewelry and no cash.
Oi!
So I was robbed by American Airlines security.
How much did you have on you?
$300.
Oh, nice.
And that was money for my trip and a whole bunch of jewelry. So I got on the plane. I went nuts. I made a police report. All I wanted to do was to have them check the tape. I knew who the women were. And American Airlines said to me, after a lot of fighting, they said, we job those people out. We're not responsible for their behavior. They're not real American Airlines employees.
Oh.
We contract with them here.
Well, when we go in the airport from now, let's say, will the real airlines employees please raise your hand so we know?
That's exactly right.
Uh-huh.
No responsibility. All I wanted was an apology. I don't mind getting fleeced by a pickpocket, but when security robs you, that is pretty pathetic.
Unbelievable. Okay, thanks, sweetheart.
All right.
Don't do it again. How do you like that? Oh, we not our job, okay? We don't know nothing from that. Basically, they told her. That was what they told her. Like I said, never again, baby. No more Terminal C or D for me. No, goodbye, American. Goodbye, American, forever. Have a great life. Good luck to you, but no more of that chaos. No more of that psychosis that you call operating an airline. 26 past 11. It's only a little over an hour away from the Marlin game. Can you feel the pressure building?
Yes.
Can you feel the excitement, the tension in the air?
Yes.
We could be something special.
Yes.
Okay, it's 11:30. We don't have a lot of time. Okay, we better move along fast. No, we better move along. We only got an hour to go until the Marlins game.
Oh!
I think that was an act of God is what that was right there.
Oh, God!
Yeah, kind of like misfired. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Don't forget the Jimmy, we could be special, Johnson show right after the ball game, which is a good way to play with your emotions because I'm sure most of you don't want to listen to the Marlin game, but you'll have to keep tuning in and out to find out when Jeannie is on with the Mad Dog. Here's a mobile in Delray. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Neil, how you doing today?
Great.
I want to make a comment about that last caller that had called up. I'm a police officer for the sheriff's office for many years now, and I happen to live in that Waterford community. That's why I called hearing this idiot on the phone.
Right.
The reason we do that, okay, is because of the deterrence, and it's basically that's why they let us take it home, because we're either traveling the next day or we're working that day, okay? And it belongs there. It's better to have it there because it reduces the crime in the community.
I couldn't agree more.
And in Waterford, 100%. I haven't seen any problems, since I've been living there for the many years now. And what is idiot? It just amazes me. These people in South Florida.
Yeah, but he's perfect for South Florida because he has no life. This is the most important thing he's got to worry about is whether they're mowing the lawn around your police cruisers.
Yeah, I think I particularly know who this guy is. I'm going to park my car in front of his door. Give everybody a hard time here. It's ridiculous.
Okay,
all right,
pal.
I just wanted to express my opinion.
Okay,
Take care, sir.
hang in there. Yeah, some of you Yentas out there. Of course, we know a lot of people in South Florida. Like I've said, that's kind of the state motto. Some states have, the show me state. Our motto in this state is...
I have no life.
Right. And that guy just wants to live up to it. He's busy being a Yenta. I like seeing the police cruiser. Just like I said, the first time I went to Rome and saw the soldier out there with an Uzi on his shoulder, standing in the middle of a busy street corner, I thought, uh-oh, what is this, a Banana Republic? And then the next time I saw him, I thought, hey, this is pretty good. At least I know there's no scumbags out here going to rob me. Except maybe the gypsies. Oh, there you go again. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Just remember one thing, okay? Miserable people will be miserable anywhere. It doesn't make any... You could put them in paradise if there is such a place, and they'd still find some reason to gripe and bitch and bellyache and be unhappy no matter what. It's like, over the years, I've, raved about Vegas, which is my favorite American city. It's a great place. If you can't have a good time in Vegas, then you must be either brain dead or you ought to be dead. But there have been a couple of people, oh, yeah, we don't know what was the big deal out there, and, little Russian roulette with a fully loaded gun. Sounds like a good hobby for some of those bastards. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Hey, I'm a former police investigator from Boston.
Yeah.
And I just happen to be lucky enough to try to entertain her, and I fly quite a bit. And, you know, I mean, you got to look at the people that are in security there, and you look at the Sun Sentinel and Miami Herald, how much they're paying these people.
Right.
And it's got to reflect, you know, the problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody that's a retired police officer that might know a little bit more, he's not going to take that job. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons. You know, for you have incompetent people, but you're paying for.
And of course, down here we're very big on that. No matter what area you're looking at, incompetence reigns supreme here.
The same people that are ringing you up at Winn-Dixie are working the security.
Right.
You know, so I mean, you know, that's the thing. As a matter of fact, I was on a plane coming from Las Vegas. I was in seat number 1, first class.
Right.
Guy comes from the back of the plane. He's got 2 aluminum briefcases, and he's screaming that he's got bombs and guns. And this is in '96, America West Airlines.
Oh. Yeah, my favorite.
So nobody's doing it. Everybody's screaming and yelling, and the guy starts doing full contact karate kicks to the pilot's door. So, me being the former cop, you know, it never loses. You never lose it. You know, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I get up, and I just hit him, knocked him down, and held him down while nobody else did a thing. We'd made an emergency landing into Denver. Come to find out, I mean, this guy was so suspicious looking. I mean, he should have been just asked the question, what do you got in the 2 aluminum briefcases?
Yeah.
The only thing he had, and he got on there with a stolen credit card. So, I mean, you know. And then America West Airlines, they give me a first-class ticket to fly from Fort Lauderdale to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It expired. And I called him. I said, you know, I'm the guy that, you know. And he said, well, it expired. And I said, well, you know, I just really don't use it a lot because I get paid. You know, when I fly to Las Vegas or Reno, the people that I do the corporate shows for or casinos, they pay me to fly.
Right.
And they said, well, it's expired. Thanks for doing what you did. But
oh.
So I said to him, I said, well, I'm going to
it.
call Neil Rogers. I'm going to call this one. And I'm going to call that one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask them what they think. And sure enough, they called me up and they said, well, why don't you send that and we'll send you a brand new
Send you a
one.
brand new one. And you know what? They still suck, and we're still ripping their ass.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
God bless you. Yeah, America West, that's another one. And yeah, I did look it up in the book, and they are flying the Airbus now. And you know something? I still won't fly them. It's getting really bad, baby. Getting really bad. The choices are minimal, and like I said before, they try to give you the song and the dance about all these world partner, these big sky alliances, how it's so great. It's a nightmare. It's like the end of the world. It's like, because as soon as you start taking away the competition, as soon as you start with these monopolies, everybody all the customers get screwed. Here's Orlando. Hello.
Hey, Neil. It's funny you're talking about this because I'm going to Vegas today for the first time.
Oi!
Going on TWA. I don't know.
TWA, well.
Yeah. Going to stay at the New York. Have you been there?
Great location. It's a little chaotic in there, but it's an excellent location. So, you know, depending on how you like it. You know, you don't have to spend all your time in there, but it's a good place to stay. Excellent location.
Right on the Strip, right?
Right across from the MGM Grand. Go across the street to the MGM and the Tropicana and plunge your brains out.
Are there any shows that you recommend? Lance Burton?
I'm not big on shows.
Okay. I know you're talking about this airline thing, but I wanted to ask you what you knew about this deal where Howard, being a big fan of Phil Henry,
yeah,
and even visiting him on his show. Do you know anything about it?
Well, I read the story yesterday, and I mentioned it on the air that he went and watched him work, which is a real trip to see when Phil is doing the show. But other than that, it doesn't mean anything, unfortunately.
They're not in cahoots or anything to be on a network.
No.
Okay.
I wish.
Yeah, I saw it on NeilRogers.com, and I was kind of shocked to read it, but I didn't know if there was any more to it or not.
No, in fact, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and who has worked with Phil also, and it's really sad because they've done, the Cox people, they re-signed him into a new deal, but he was hoping that syndication would be a part of it. But as I find out with a lot of people in this business, they talk a good game, and then, that's the end of it.
Right.
Okay, pal, have a great time.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay. 5670, poor Phil.
Are you sure?
He's doing all right. But he deserves to be syndicated. And then, of course, we could carry it here from 9 to midnight. Would we do that here?
No.
No, because he don't do a sports show. Oh, that's right. Forgot about that. We got to have sports on 20 hours a day. We got to be giving those same ball scores and those same monotonous updates over and over and over again. We could be special. Yeah. It is pretty special. I got to admit that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's real special. Just like that corn, in Deliverance. That corn sure is special. You know what? Huh?
Uh-huh.
And, of course, he really loved this corn, didn't he, June? See how all these things fit together, Fatso and Deliverance and all these things. 22 before noon at 560 WQAM. God, I got such a sick mind, and I'm so proud of it, by the way.
If I had the ability to do, I'd take you out here right now and kick your goddamn teeth in.
Look at my butt.
All right.
I'm such a beautiful singer. All the guys, they want me. From the old to the teenager. I am hot, I have to say. I sing real good, my acting's okay. God, I look good. Might have a chance with this beautiful singer. I got sultry bedroom eyes and a bod I like to show. With my soft and creamy thighs, had a kid you'd never know.
All right.
To see me is to want me. Got a real tight booty. My bra is packed with seeds. You see me all over MTV. Not that at 40 years. I know you want me. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Beautiful singer. Beautiful singer.
11:44, 560. Don't forget to reserve your spot for 2 a.m.'s annual About.com Celebrity Golf Tournament Friday, September 24th. Call 305-650-0163 for information. Try your luck at the Infinity Hole-in-One Challenge, lunch from Tony Roma's, and the silent auction benefiting Center One. Sponsored by Leading.com, the Ping Collection, Mystic Cliffs Wine, Princess Resort and Casino, Rolling Shield Shutters, and the post-tournament dinner by the Outback Steakhouse. 16 till noon, that means we got like 46 minutes before Marlin baseball, baby. You can smell it, can't you? Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to make a couple comments on the current topic about the sting at the airport.
Yes.
The employees, I mean, the people were not employees of the Dade County, right? They were the American Airlines people.
Most.
And there were a couple, INS agents and a Broward Sheriff's officer.
You had 30 American Airlines ramp employees, an American Eagle security guard, 13 Sky Chef workers, 3 law enforcement officers. One was an immigration inspector, agriculture inspector, and a BSO deputy who worked at the airport part-time. There you go.
Wow. The other thing that was interesting to me was, I believe, if the television media is to be believed, that those grenades and guns, weren't they put there by the alcohol, tobacco, fire people as part of the sting?
Right, that was part of the plan, right? And they did take them off, obviously, before the planes took off, yes.
Yeah, okay, so they were dummies, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, but the people that put them there had no way of knowing.
Oh, yeah, no, I know
just
that.
Like,
that I understood.
Just like, for example, because they had limited budget on this thing, a lot of the cocaine that they bought was, they hired cocaine counterfeiters from Colombia to make it for $50 a kilo instead of the $275.
Oh, I get it.
So they had to manufacture something that looked and tasted like cocaine but wasn't the real thing, because otherwise they couldn't have afforded to continue the operation.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So they've been running that for a while, right?
2 years.
A couple of years?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The other thing I'd comment on was, your aerosol can thing? Long time ago, they used to be interested in aerosol cans because if those cabins decompressed, they would explode. You'd spill the airline full of right cars.
Yeah.
All right,
at least they might smell better. Okay, thank you.
I want it that way.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's North Miami. Hello.
Neil God, how are you?
Yes, sir. Speaking.
Great show today. I'm sorry you have to leave us early.
Well, I wish I could say the
You
same.
don't have to listen to that garbage Marlins. Anyways, I'm going to be short and sweet and with my material, too. I've added up the... Hello.
I'm listening.
Be short and sweet with the material, too. I've counted up the IQ of your callers now, and I'm still on my left hand, so we need to do something about that.
Yeah. And what did you want to tell us?
People in Miami are dumb.
Okay, thanks for the bulletin. Okay, there you go. Here's a guy with a bulletin, boys and girls. I thought we've been saying that for a very long time.
Floridians, dumb as dirt.
I mean, there's a few exceptions out there. There's me and George, and I'm thinking. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. How's that bonus coming, by the way, George? Here's Oakland Park. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to
How'd you
have
back
a
with a screw to that
conversation,
thing?
but it don't seem like that you want to have one. So
Why is that?
I don't know, because you got the stuff going on in the background. It seems to me like all you want to do
Sir,
is
we've had
detect the call.
conversations
You want to
here
have
for
a
almost 2 hours.
conversation?
What would
sir?
you like to tell us, sir?
You want to have a conversation or not?
About what?
Is this a talk show?
About what?
You just want to attack the call?
No, you don't want to say anything. All you want to do is attack me. If you want to say something, go ahead. If you want to sit and waste my time, to you, okay? I've listened to everybody who's called here today. We haven't had any problem until you, of course, asshole. 567-0560. Flip the thing up the pot for like 5 seconds on there. Right away, he's making an issue out of that. And, of course, that was long after he called. He was already on hold. So here's another guy with no material. See, let me tell you again, pal. DNH and TNC. Take no crap. That's my motto of life. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Neil?
Okay, sir.
Great. I got some stuff for you. Listen, I got married about 6 months ago, and me and my wife went over to London, England, and Paris, France for our honeymoon.
Yes, sir.
And that was probably one of the greatest trips I've ever taken in my life. Paris is such a beautiful place. What I wanted to talk about when the difference between the airlines and the different places over in Paris versus here in America.
Yeah.
You know, we get over there in Paris and everything. Everyone's so great. They're so cordial. They want to, help you out as much as possible. Well, of course, we get back to the States, and the first thing we hear is some American guy chewing out these foreigners, I guess, who are going back home. Of course, I think it was in Fort Lauderdale or Miami, one of the two, but it was just totally ridiculous, and you notice the change big time. But I enjoyed myself very much over there.
There you go. Okay, pal.
Thanks a lot now.
Thank you. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Mr. Conversation there was a putz.
Well, he was great, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was great. Neil,
Nothing to say, no material.
you're an authority on hockey, and I wanted to ask you a question. You know, Pavel Bure and a couple of the Russians are having like a little camp right now.
Right. Well, that's over with.
What is that all about? Because my girlfriend's brother is the goalie. He's and I really don't get what he's doing there. So I thought I'd ask you.
It's just kind of a excuse to get together before the official camp broke for, and Karpatsev from the Leafs and Bure and a few other guys got together. Just one of those things. And with the blessing of their teams, because some of these guys were guys who had injury problems last year, like Bure, and they wanted to get a little extra work in to get ready for a camp.
So how should this kid hold his hopes up for this opportunity he's been given to just play goalie with these guys?
Well, I don't understand what you mean. What is his name?
Jay Zito?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
No.
That's a really tough position to make it in the NHL, right?
Right.
Very difficult.
You better believe it.
All right, Neil. Thank you.
Okay, good luck to him.
Bye-bye.
Okay. 567-0560. Good luck to us. Of course, do we have any hockey?
No.
No, not down here. Anybody care about?
No.
Yeah, that's forgetting about the fact we got such crappy schools and portable classrooms and all this other crap. Nobody here really cares about sports other than football, which I think mostly is just talk and not very much knowledge. But other than that, they don't care about them. And yet we just keep building more and more arenas and more stadiums and come up with more financing and more taxes. Well, what's the point? What is the point? It would be like building a $400 million library in a place where everybody's illiterate. Here's Coconut Creek. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
Pretty good.
I'm a police officer in Florida here, and I just wanted to tell you that about that jerk that called a few minutes ago about the take-home cars.
Mr. No Life, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've proven through studies that these cars last an average of 7 years when the guys take them home rather than running them 24 hours a day where they last about 2 years.
Right.
So it ends up saving the taxpayers money. Unfortunately, these idiots like him just don't understand that.
I mean, what kind of a moron wouldn't want to, feel a little bit safer having police cruisers parked, nearby wherever they live? I mean, some people would pay for that.
Every one of my neighbors just loves it. They
Right.
think it's the greatest thing in the world. And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was the airlines. I had an incident a few years ago up in Detroit where I was talking to somebody in the airport terminal, And I made a statement in there, and the next thing I know, I got two federal marshals getting ready to haul me off to the pokey because they said I was making threatening statements in an airport.
How do you like that?
And I said, hey, I'm a police officer. And they said, hey, we don't care. And they said, hey, and I'm like, they're telling me I'm going to have to pay like $5,000 a minute for this plane to be sitting out on the tarmac till they decide whether they're not going to let me on.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it was just unbelievable. I can't wait to get out of here. I got 6 more years to go, and I'm done.
Excellent.
All right. See you later, Neil.
I'll see you there wherever you are. Okay. How do you like that? 5670560 pound. And of course, one thing we know.
Please don't say the F word.
No, that's language that's not acceptable on the airline. I mean, I see that, especially the way they treat people, that it takes an extraordinary amount of authoritarian kind of attitude on their part to keep everybody in tow and in line. Because if people just went loose with their emotions, it could get very dangerous, especially 33,000 feet up in the air. But the idea that they're going to restrict your language, and they're going to like the broad that they arrested up there at Logan International in Boston because she said the F word, that should be the worst that somebody said on a plane with the way that they treat a lot of people. Especially, I don't want to mention, was that American Airlines, by the way?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, seems to me. And the episode with the guy that spilled the coffee at Boston, was that American Airlines?
Uh-huh.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. And listen, whatever you do, don't put your luggage too close to those hand grenades in the overhead. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you doing today?
Pretty good, sir.
Hey, I'm a airline pilot based down in Miami.
All right.
And boy, I tell you what, being of South American descent, I can say this with a clear mind. Did you notice on the list of the published names today of all the people they busted down there?
Yeah, I have it right here. Yeah.
Every single one of them, with the exception of one guy, was a Julio.
Right.
And they recruit these people from like Burger King and McDonald's. They are the when we pull in down there, when we park at the gate, we'll have to maybe run in the terminal and do something real quick.
Yeah.
We can't leave any of our personal belongings in there because our own employees steal them, our own stuff.
Beautiful.
You got to lock the cockpit doors, and flight attendants have to take their stuff with them or lock them in the cockpit with us because you can't turn your back for 2 minutes. And they're back there. They'll climb into the cargo compartments and start stealing all the passengers' belongings while they're in there. We're mounting cameras now in the cargo compartments to catch these people.
Maybe we could get some senior citizens to take their jobs. Then all you'd have to worry about them stealing would be the sweet and low, at least.
Oh, I know. I mean, they can't. They can't. And the problem is that all the airlines out there, they're just going to pay minimum wage and hire the worst kind of derelicts they can get to come in there to work.
Right.
So it's no wonder that kind of stuff goes on.
Well, it gives you a really great feeling of confidence, doesn't it?
Bless America.
Okay, pal. Good luck.
See ya.
Okay. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line as we approach relentlessly that moment at 12:30 when you'll hear the sound of Marlins baseball and a pregame show. Wow. God, I'm pretty psyched about it.
Uh-huh.
11:55 at 560 WQM.
Oh, it's too hot, too hot, baby. Find an air conditioner, and you got it made. In the heat of summertime, when it gets too hot, and you need relief for what you need, they ain't got. I know the song's gonna relate to a home block. I let the devil spend the whole day looking for an air conditioner. 100 degrees or more in the shade, and they tell you, sorry, all out. I'm afraid they get rid of the embarrassment. You take your chance on someone seeing you walking around your house with just in the pants on. Vans up, full flat bags of ice and cut it. From the stores, inventories down, and sweating buckets. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about all the things you want to pack up all your bags and move out. That's not what I planned to do. That's what I did. Yeah, I finally said I can't take no more of this. I found relief right here in my neighborhood, my new address, Walmart. Sporting goods. Oh, it's too hot, too hot, baby. Find an air conditioner, and you got it made.
If you libertarians would stop wasting our fax paper, we'd appreciate it very much because we hate you like poison. And why I keep saying that on the air over and over again, and they keep sending me their propaganda and crap. Anybody know any libertarians?
No.
No. You have to get a search party to find one, and they keep wasting their time. I don't really care whether you agree with George W. or with Bubba or with this one or this cokehead or whoever, okay? Nobody cares. When's Jesse running? That's what I say. Oh! That's when I'll get excited. 5670560, pound 5. Even, what's his name? Rick Springfield's excited. He wants to be Jesse's girl. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Neil, I'm from England, and I was listening to your show a couple of days ago, and I heard an expression that I'm not familiar with, and it's been intriguing me, and I'd like you to tell me what it is.
Yes, sir.
What's a foot flusher?
A foot flusher is someone who doesn't flush the toilet with his hand, who uses his foot because he's got a fetish about germs on the handle.
Oh, now there you go.
You've heard of a four flusher? That's a foot flusher. I bet you Prince Edward's probably a foot flusher.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Most of the royal family probably.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, let me ask you, do you live here?
Yes.
You live here now?
Yes, I
And
do.
how do you compare it with, well, of course, you're from England, so that's not a very good,
England's good, but it's not. Everybody over here makes England out to be some sort of like fairyland where everything's lovely, and there's a lot of bad parts, just as many bad parts of
a
England.
lot of fairies in England, I think, yeah.
Sorry?
I said, have a great day.
Thank you.
Cheers. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's Hollywood. Hello. Hollywood.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
And good afternoon to you.
First time, long time.
All right.
I don't have much material, but I just have a question for your opinion.
Uh-huh.
Now that this mess was going on at the Miami airport,
Yeah.
you think this could possibly be just scraping the tip of the iceberg?
Yes.
Popping up other
Yes,
parts
of course. Of course, because they admitted they had to end the sting operation because they ran out of money. But there's no question this is only a little piece. In fact, they said that. That's what was part of the story.
Yes, sir.
That's only the beginning.
That's why they're running out of the money. But does this leave us with other ongoing investigations that will be foiled?
Well, you can be sure that there will be others now that Congress will appropriate money, because if this kind of crap is going on, the flying public is going to start getting psychotic.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well, of course, this audience don't seem psychotic, but like I said, the people who are here now are probably people that can't afford to go anywhere. Oh God, I just don't get it. Things that just have people all over the country just foaming at the mouth. And one good thing about here, they don't get too excited. I mean, we have certain segments of the community that get excited, but that's only about one thing. You know what that is. You know. Like if there's a Cigar Aficionado magazine on the stand they don't like, then they get excited about that. And that also, by the way, was at Miami International Airport, where we have self-appointed censors censoring which magazines you can buy at the newsstand. Let's hear it. Oh! Oh, we got that Marlin game coming up in 28 minutes. Man, I'm getting excited. Can't you tell? I'm gagging on it. Here's a lady mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm a deputy's wife, and I just want to tell you that guy that called you is an absolute idiot, because I would like
He's an asshole. Yeah.
I would like to have, and I agree with you, there are bad cops, there are good cops.
Right.
But I'd like to have $1 for every time someone has knocked on our door because their husband's beating them up, okay? My husband has pulled people out of burning apartments,
right,
and was named Deputy of the Year off duty because someone knocked on our door. There was an accident in front of our development, and he saved 12 people's lives.
Outstanding.
Okay, so to him, I only hope someday that it's not his wife or his daughter.
Yeah. Well, he's a Yenta in training, or already a full-fledged Yenta, so don't pay, consider the source.
I understand, but I just wanted to have my peace. And please stay off American Airlines. Can you imagine if that was your pilot that was flying?
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see it. But maybe he had, a little coffee laced with cocaine or heroin, whatever it was, like the other pilot in the story. 567-0560. It doesn't mention whether that was before the flight started or he was already in the air. It doesn't mention that for obvious reasons. Might get people a little bit more nervous. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Great.
Neil, got just a couple of things. Heading back to the Midwest, going back to St. Louis on Delta, hoping I'm going to get there first off. That's a crapshoot. Second of all, going back to a real station where they got some sports. They can talk hockey, KMOX.
KMOX, right.
One time home at
Dan Kelly, right.
And no Murray brothers. We got Larry Plow and Joe Quenville. Got a real team, real coach.
Yeah,
real,
and you got Ken Wilson, a great announcer there on TV.
He's not bad. He's no Dan Kelly, but then who
Pretty
is?
good. That's right.
But you know what, Neil? Well, I'll miss you for the week or so I'm gone. No Yentas up there. Everybody says hi, thank you, nice to see you. Don't have that down here.
Right.
Talk to you when we get back.
Okay, pal. Have a good time.
You too.
I will. 5 minutes past noon at 560 WQM. You know, people judge you by the shoes you wear, and if yours look like garbage, like crap, then they say, oh, geez, what does that say about you? So go to Brandy Shoes of Pompano, get some great-looking, stylish shoes and a perfect fit every time because they really know your feet at Brandy's. They've got all the top styles in the universe: Rockport, SAS, Timberland, Florsheim, Topsiders, Sebagos, Hush Puppies, all the other top brands, and they give you prices that you can't beat anywhere. And if you have a hard-to-fit foot, no problem at Brandy's because they carry men's sizes 6 to 15, women's sizes 5 to 12 from narrow to extra wide. So save some cash, put your feet in the latest style shoes, and get a perfect fit guaranteed every time at Brandy's Megastore. You'll be finding them at 1290 North Federal Highway between Atlantic and Copans Roads in Pompano Beach. Or for directions, call 954-943-9667.
This is 560 QAM.
You used to think hobbies were for relaxation. Then you took up golf. Once you thought an outboard motor meant boating. Until you discovered that a sail means yachting. You used to think your TV was terrific.
Wow, you can see the numbers on their uniforms. What detail?
Then came Hitachi Ultravision high-definition television.
Look, number 7 has written the place down on his shoelaces.
I can't believe we can see that on TV.
Oh, but his handwriting is awful.
Hitachi Ultravision is everything you never thought TV could be. The clarity, the detail, the picture that's more like looking through a window than watching TV. And the same Ultravision optics that make the HD TV picture so spectacular are found in every Ultravision model, digital and non-digital alike. See them for yourself, and you'll recall the days when the movies were a big thing. And realize now that the movies are a big screen called Hitachi Ultravision.
See Hitachi Ultravision for yourself at Circuit City.
Ed Kaplan knows the scores, starting at 10 till the last game ends. Weeknights only on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Ed Berliner on Sports Radio 560 WQAM.
Do you love breakfast cereal?
Yes.
Do you love beer? Then you'll love Beerios, the world's first beer-soaked breakfast cereal. My husband never had time to eat breakfast in the morning, and to get him to even touch me was like pulling teeth. But now he wouldn't think of starting his day without 3 heaping bowls of Beerios, and he can't keep his hands off of me.
Come here, you little wench.
Harvey, the kissel's here. Beerios is available at all fine supermarkets and liquor stores everywhere.
I used to be depressed, but with Beerios, I've got a reason to wake up. I start each day with a buzz.
Beerios, it's oats, it's alcohol, it's fun. Harvey!
So speaking of American Airlines, if you're in first class and they come around, you know, in the first class cabin and offer you a beverage, do you order rum and Coke? 5-6, and are you sure you know what you're going to get? 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Not that we want to pick on American, do we?
Uh-huh.
Well deserved. Here's Perrine. Hello.
Hello, am I on, Neil?
Sounds like you, sir.
Okay. I want to ask a question or make a reference to these people about the police officers being able to drive their vehicles home.
Uh-huh.
I lived in Georgia, about 10, 15 years ago, and I don't know if it was a certain county ordinance, but the police officers that were able to drive their vehicles home, as long as they parked it in the lot of this rental community, they didn't have to pay rent. Now, I don't think...
They didn't have to pay rent?
No, they got free rent. Now, I don't know if this happens in Florida.
No.
But one question that comes to mind is, I don't think that money was going back to the community, which I don't think is right. I don't think it's right when I live in Perrine.
Well, it doesn't happen here. So
well, I don't think it's right
point.
when I live in Perrine either, and I see many, many, many Metro-Dade police officers that live in Coral Springs. Now, I know he's not paying for his fuel every night.
Yeah.
I see Miami Beach police officers that live in Weston.
Mm-hmm.
They get to drive these vehicles home, and I don't think that's right. Now, I do believe the vehicle being there is a great deterrent, but me living in Perrine, paying the taxes for the Metro-Dade police officers,
Mm-hmm.
and Coral Springs is getting the coverage up there, it's just not right.
Yeah. Okay, well, I agree basically with the principle, but the amount of money you're talking about, the gas money, it's like splitting hairs. I'm not going to get all bent out of shape about that. You know, we can't get on an airplane. We got no security at the airport, and people all of a sudden we got sidetracked into this thing because some officers are driving their car home at night and they're parking in the on the grass or in their driveway. I'm not going to quibble about that. If we have good cops, I'll stick up for them all the way. If they're bad cops, then forget it. Because there's lots and lots and lots of bad cops, just like there's lots and lots of bad doctors, and just like there's lots and lots and lots of bad radio people. not to mention any names, of course. We're necessarily in this radio market, you know. But we sure appreciate the good cops out there, believe me. And even something, even the bad cops, I still, if they're going to have their car parked somewhere near where I am, you still feel better about it. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Great.
I spent 12 years in the airline industry. I worked most of it in the cargo department. When I started, most airline personnel made over $15 an hour,
right?
And they had careers. That's what it was. Eastern still existed. Pan Am was at the tail end, but it was still a great career. Today, I think if they're making $6 an hour, it's too much.
I think $8.
In international carriers, for example, that I work for in cargo, most of them don't even have their own personnel anymore. They hire these handling companies. They don't even know who's loading their planes for them. They have no records of these people, and if one handling company goes up because they have experienced personnel, they just get rid of them, and they'll take another handling company that will do the job for less. If you look at the Value Jet crash, the Fine Air crash, they weren't mechanical failures. They were basically employees who had no real experience in loading the aircraft, and they did a hell of a...
That's why we wound up with those canisters on the Value Jet plane.
You got it. And let me tell you something. If they start really exploring this and really getting into it, they've got a lot of work ahead of them.
If we start getting all the information, we're all going to be walking.
Oh, I left a year and a half ago, and we were loading the planes, and then we had to, because we had handlers that did actual loading of the aircraft, and we were security guards. I mean, you had to stay by the door, could not move off the door.
Right.
They knew what I didn't know what was inside some of those boxes as far as electrical equipment. They knew everything that was in there. CDs, and let me tell you, not just for, they're stealing. I mean, the way that they load the planes and everything else. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry that this has happened. I mean, that what happened in American Airlines, because it's about time that they start really looking into it. But really, the accidents that have happened. But I'll tell you what, I blame the FAA in a whole lot of this, because they bend to the airline.
That's right.
Airlines. The FAA is there to regulate, and that's not what they do. They sit with these people, and as soon as that.
But why should it be any different from any other government agency like the FDA? That is in partners with all these pharmaceutical companies.
But I'll tell you, man, I'm happy. I'm out of there. I'm doing my own thing now, and
okay, pal.
That's why I can talk to you. So I'll keep listening. All right.
Okay. Good luck.
Have a good one.
Bye. Okay, it sounds real promising for hopping on a plane and going somewhere. 5670560 pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's a call from Freeport. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil?
Yes, I am.
I'm Lou from Freeport that sent you that bump on the Freedom from Religion Foundation.
Yes, sir.
The Heritage.
Yaman.
Right. Yaman, yeah. I just wanted to mention that you think American Airlines suck. You want to try their commuter line.
American
Eagle?
Yeah.
Oh.
You mean the ones that were dropping out of the sky for a while there, yeah?
Yeah, you better get your leather helmet and goggles on. No,
makes you feel just like Snoopy, doesn't it?
Yeah, I could fill one of your programs with stories, but
no, I won't fly puddle jumpers under any circumstances ever again.
Right. Well, one comes to mind. They always overbook the flights.
Yeah.
And one particular flight, there were two people that in excess, and everyone said no, we're sticking. So everyone boarded the bus to go to the plane, and then the bus driver said he's not disembarking anybody until he picks two to stay back. So he picked two people, and then there was a riot, and everyone just pushed past him, threw him out of his bus, and went up into the plane where we had more than enough seats. And the outcome was they had to take half the baggage off. So, they when there's some dirty work to be done, they just leave it to the bus driver.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty neat trick.
Sounds outstanding. Okay, listen, Lou, great hearing from you.
Yeah, one quick thing.
Yes, sir.
Changing the subject, I'm starting a new church over here. I want you to be a founder member. We're calling it the Church of the Holy Guarantee. We guarantee you a place in heaven, brother, if you give us 10% of your income. And if for any reason you go down below, well, your money's refunded in full. And I've only got about 10 places left out of a 2,000.
Okay, well, Jim Baker and Jim Swaggart, I think you're down to 8.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, pal.
Okay.
Good luck.
Okay.
And God
Thanks,
bless you.
Neil.
Okay. 12:15 at 560 WQM. It's football season.
In opera houses everywhere, the Three Tenors versus the Three Stooges. The Three Tenors, the Three Stooges. No holds barred. Steel cage death match. You remember the mayhem last time these guys met.
Oh, you can't do that to my pal.
Hey, the guy with glasses, huh?
You idiot, I ought to kill you. Oh, you try that once more. I'm beginning to hate that guy.
T. Curley uses deadly death claw nuclear punch.
You, white guy.
Steve Averati uses lethal hammerhead brain basher.
I'm a victim of circumstance.
The Three Tenors, the Three Stooges. Death match 99.
Splatterproof plastic bags for the first 5 rows.
12:18 at 560 WQM. Boy, you can feel the tension. Can you smell it? You can cut it with a butter knife with that Marlin game coming up in the pregame at 12:30, just 12 minutes away. Hallelujah. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Great.
Hey, I work for American Airlines, okay?
Yes?
And half this stuff could have been stopped because half of these guys were busted over 2 years ago for stealing and going through the luggage.
Right.
But they're saying American wants to cooperate. Metrodate had them busted on video with the evidence, and then American doesn't want to prosecute. So half these guys would have been gone, and other stuff.
Why doesn't America want to prosecute?
I don't know. They don't want to be known as people going through their luggage and stuff, and all they want to do is.
In other words, they're trying to cover it up, sweep it under the rug.
They're trying to cover it up, but they don't want to go through it. But if they would have got rid of most of these people a long time ago, half of it would have been done with already. And there's still about 20, 30 guys that are known and have been busted stealing that they won't arrest or prosecute.
Beautiful.
So, I mean, these guys aren't cooperating. All they want to do is cover it up.
Okay, pal. Thanks for the bad news.
All right, take it easy.
Hang in there. How do you like that? Yeah, this is, I think, of all the places that you could talk about, American Airlines is the one institution in this town where more people who work for the company will call in and badmouth them and tell you stories like this because they're frustrated and disgusted and nauseated, and deservedly so. So there's 85 more good reasons to just say no to American, on American Airlines. Yeah, there needs to be a major, major shake-up over there, baby. Clean up that act in Terminal C and D. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I've been listening for the past, say, 10 years. I drive from Plantation every day to Miami International. I work for American.
Right.
And I work on the ramp with all those guys.
Uh-huh.
Your major problem here that you're talking about is security and everything that they do. Just as I listened earlier, a gentleman called in about what the people get paid. There's no way they can stop that. There's no way. When you have a Haitian woman who's sitting there looking at a TV screen for 8 hours, how is she going to tell a Riker can from an explosive anyway?
Mm-hmm.
She's looking at millions of bags.
Yeah.
That's their entire security. That's the way it works. Now, the whole way it boils down to is the Dade County Aviation Department now blames me for the entire security breach. That's not my fault. That's not anyone that works there's problem. That should be some other type of way to around this. The other way is to make me, being an employee, to go in through the checkpoint where everyone else goes through is just out of hand. I drive an hour to work, then I got to park in the employee lot, which is, a ways away. Then, as you've seen, C and D will be backed up all the way into the terminal sometimes to get through the gates. Now, how am I supposed to get to my work area?
Well, let me ask you this. Why can't they make an employee, just like they do with customs? They have a place for...
If you go to other stations, they'll do that. They'll do things even for like a non-resident employee.
Right.
Traveling. They don't do that down here. What you have to understand is you complain every day about how they operate down there. They don't care because just as other people have called you and told you, the paying passengers down there do not have a choice. They don't have a choice. Just as after the flight attendant strike, they came back and they cut the prices on everywhere.
Yeah. They
didn't cut here because the poor Hispanics that you're talking about, they have no choice. They have no choice but to fly them. No choice. And then the other day when you were talking about what the people carry on, they don't have anything.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of times we'll get blamed for pilferage or something like that. You're talking about a bag that comes into a belly. It'll blow up, and it's got like 400 pounds of canned goods. It's got a car engine. It's got problems. These are things that these people constantly bring down. The other day, I was involved in a chemical spill. A guy sent a gas can full of gas to a country.
A gas can?
A gas can
Beauty.
See, these are things that get right through because they just get paid off. See, what happens is someone will come in, so they're taking a bag that weighs like 500 pounds, and that's how it gets through. Someone gets paid a couple bucks, and that's the way it's always going to work. When someone's got cash on hand, it's always going to get through.
Yeah.
If your answer is to put like another security guard up there, that's not going to happen. You're just as these guys were making millions, thousands of dollars. You're looking at a normal drug dealer who's walking around with like $3,000 in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
For him to throw $500,000 at someone who's going to let them slide, you're just going to have to.
Well, let me ask you something. What about the other parts of the airport? Do you think it's anywhere near as bad in the other terminals?
I'd imagine so. It's wherever they fly. We're getting a bad rap because we fly to these places. This is always going to be the problem, and that's what it says in the paper. I mean, my father worked at Eastern, and that's always going to be. Wherever it's not American. It's where we fly. It's where we fly, and the money is just too lucrative, and it's always going to be there.
Yeah. Well, I know that the plane that was delayed when I was going up to Toronto last Friday was coming in from Guatemala.
Right. Well, I was working that day.
Yeah.
You complained about the fact that the ramp
that was a nightmare. What was going on there with that gate?
The ramp. See, the other guy called in and he made a big stink about how the fact that they closed the ramp, and he says. The one guy called a couple days ago, the two couples going to Jamaica, they flew in Air Jamaica and they got there before the other people.
Right.
American and our union has a contract that if lightning's in the area within 5 miles, we do not work.
Yeah.
The other idiot companies will work.
What did that have to do with last Friday, though? What
that means that when your plane will not take off down here, then they're not going to have a plane in Toronto for you to come back on. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And vice versa. You couldn't get out because of that.
But there wasn't any lightning.
Trust me, when it's dark and everything like that, there's lightning around. You may not see it, and a lot of times I'll be down there going, there's no lightning, but there is lightning. And if it's not lightning...
Then why don't they tell us that? You see, this is another problem that we have, is that they don't tell you anything. You sit there and you sit there and they tell you nothing.
They don't.
And the woman at the counter, the one who wound up there at when they finally decided to start boarding, she was as indifferent as anybody I've ever seen in my life. The guy had to finally yell at her, "We're ready to start boarding," and she still wasn't paying any attention. He had to come over, practically hit over the head to, and hear all these people, 180, 200 people that are sitting there for an hour and a half after the fact.
They want to make you feel like they're going to get somewhere on time, but most of the time they're not. If you read the report the other day, a lot of this has to do with the other airlines. The other airlines, like Southwest and the other airlines, what they're doing is they're finding that they're making more money by instead of sending an Airbus or a 747, they'll send a 737. Well, what's that doing? That's jamming up the takeoff routes. That's where the problem's coming. There's too many of the small airlines flying everywhere. Not small airlines, they're very profitable. But the problem is they're learning that instead of sending a plane with 300 people on it, it's better to send a plane that holds like 100 people and send 3 of them an hour. Now there's just way too many planes out there. I'm not taking the side of the company, but I think I see the problem. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, pal, hang in there.
Okay.
Good luck.
Bye.
Sounds real pleasant, doesn't it? Yeah, sounds real promising. Not. Anyway, it's 12:25 at 560 WQM.
My wife says it really hurts to blow, you know?
Why? Does she have a really small mouth?
What? No, she's got a cold and her nose is all rough from the tissues. What the hell are you talking about?
Make an ass of yourself at work today. Same thing as you. Yeah, that's what I mean. Then try a do-over.
What does her mouth have to do with blowing?
Medically proven to erase up to 24 hours of memory.
Wait a minute.
Do-over.
Oh, you sick bastard.
For when you really up.
12:28 at 560 WQM. God, can you smell it? Marlin baseball any minute. Here's the mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
I'm willing to sit in the studio from 10 to 2.
You're what?
I'm willing to sit in the studio for free from 10 to 2 and laugh at everything you say. And
okay, great. Here's the mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm with U.S. Customs, and I just want to tell you, we had an inspector about 2.5, 3 years ago that brought all these security issues up to our upper management in Customs. They did nothing about it. It made this guy look really bad. They turned on him. They practically ruined his career. He's now our union president.
Yeah.
And I worked with this guy for the last 5 or 6 years, and this type of thing that happened, it didn't surprise me a bit. We know it goes on at the airport. As far as Customs is concerned, we're undermanned, we're underfunded, and that's basically all I had to say. It's not surprising at all.
Okay, pal, hang in there.
Thanks.
Good luck. You'll need it. Okay, we'll all need it, but that's the way it goes. You just, make your best choices. And like I said, Terminal C?
No.
No, I don't think so. Terminal D?
No.
No. Huh? I mean, the more that I heard today, the more I'm convinced that just maybe I made the right decision yesterday by just saying to American Airlines. And like the guy said before, maybe they're not the only ones, but and you know what else he said? He said the Marlins wait for nobody, mister. That's what he said.
The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Sports Radio 560 QAM, the flagship station of the Florida Marlins, presents Florida Marlins Baseball.